you mentioned, the first group who came here have that value to succeed. So is there any way that you can connect an intergenerational link?
This is a good idea for me. Yeah, this is something I may retire very soon, so I think this is a good idea. Yeah, it might help, yes.
Previous to you writing a book, would you maybe share a couple ideas with us that comes to your mind and your experience with helping the second generation Somali children?
The first thing is the parent. The parent should be concerned about this child. This child needs more help than what he used to get in Somalia. In Somalia, people are monoculture. The expectation in the street and the expectation in the home are similar. People are advising us as kids, oh, this is not ethically right, so you have to correct yourself. But here, this is diversity. And the diversity is also very rich. You have to take the good things that will bring this child into success. So the parent is number one, the factor that can make the difference for the child. Schools also have to recognize, first of all, the culture of this child. And the teachers should know about their children. If you don't know what is inside this child, it's not going to, you are not going to put anything in his mind. Yes?
Yeah, related to what you just said, as teachers going into classrooms where we're likely to have diverse groups of students, include a number of Somalis, especially if we're going to teach in Minneapolis, what should we be prepared with? What should we know before going in and working with Somali students?
I think the most successful experiment is to have bilingual service over there. Because this child, what does he has about the culture? What is he losing his culture? What is his culture, what is not his culture? And this bilingual service will facilitate the connection between the parent and the school. So this is a very important item. Yes.
I don't know who the question might be for, maybe for both of you, but and this was a little bit more when I was in school, which I guess isn't that long ago, but still now I see with some students the somewhat animosity between black students and Somali students and other African refugees. Do you have any tips or just like share your feelings of how, I don't know if you might have experienced it more since you grew up in school here, but that was a big issue when I was still in high school, and it still kind of is in middle school, that they kind of separate themselves and there's a lot of conflict sometimes, especially in secondary schools.
Yeah, actually, we live with this, these concerns daily. The issue is the African American students themselves are struggling and they are failing, and their failure is they want a group, they want others to come to their camp, so they want to influence the others so that they will not be successful. And these Somalis, probably the parent is a little bit more connected in the Somali student than the African American student. So the Somali student with the parent, from home, be successful, watch out, and this other child who might not have, this luxury, then if they are associated together, some of them are associated together, but they have a conflict because they want them into their camp, and these are newcomers. These are the people in the country. So come to us by force. Sometimes, so the conflict starts. Also, language issues. The Somalis, when they speak in their language in the bus or in the area, they think that they are talking about the others. So issues come in different forms.
Can I make one comment?
Yes, yes.
I think his question, what do we know about Somalis before we go to class? I would say 3 points. Number one, the background trauma that the child and his family has been experienced. So he may or she may come with the pain or invisible pain. So you have to be aware of. Number one, lack of schooling, because this child and this family may be in a refugee camp for a while, and lack of schooling. Third part is the cultural shock and language barrier, which third is the lack of support system in the house that help in their homework. And so you be patient with them, be with them, and find other support that you can get. To relate with your question, I would say sharing feelings in our culture, I think, with respect with Mohammed will help me to this too. It's hard for us in our culture to expose and explain and become general sometimes because of who you trust, who you say what you want. So in African American culture, which has immersed and has some impact with long, we say, pain and dysfunctional thing, will be crash the Somalis who have these. So they can't be fit in the same category. So sharing, when I came to this country, I went in a counseling school, taking some psychology. So my group team, I had a struggle to open up. When I go the spectrum in the, I had a problem to open, at that my age, it was, I would say 10, 15 years ago. Guys are difficult to open up and say, this is not who I am. So sharing, feeling, I think maybe more will help. It's difficult in our culture. But this new generation, I would say X generation coming up, so they have the American way of sharing. So it's a different dilemma, a different type of thing.
Okay, yes.
Oh, one more question. Just curious especially about ESL and new students, newcomers, and the challenge of, and that's certainly not just in Somali culture, but other cultures coming from when they have had experiences with trauma, and you mentioned earlier the autism, and how does that work with special ed in the schools? Because some cultures, they have a bad negative context, negative feeling about students needing extra help. And if you could just maybe share with us some of your thoughts, especially how maybe parents can be assured that this is going to help their student and that their student, we don't, there's not all the negative context that goes with that.
This is a very good question, and it is really in our culture, the people with disabilities, they don't get any facilities. The people were very bad who didn't take care. And this is then the community, when your child is disabled, they try to deny that. They try to deny that. Because people back home, if there is a disability with a child, only the parent can, struggle with it, but the community didn't offer anything for the government or the community or anything. Here, this is a great service, great service. But there is one thing that is very important. I remember in my an elementary school, some of the teachers were very frustrated with the kids because they didn't understand each other, the language and the culture, the confusion. So this child is